Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second episode of the Quarter Brain Cell podcast. Today we have a special guest, Gabe.
Yay!
He's the
What's up,
director
everybody?
of the Buckshot Roulette short film, up and coming.
Yes, I am.
Hell yeah!
Shall I give the introduction spiel?
Absolutely, you have the stage, sir.
Alrighty. My name is Gabriel Friedberg, and I am a senior cinema major at Ithaca College, and I am the director and writer of Buckshot, my adaptation of the game Buckshot Roulette, which I'm doing as my senior thesis. Yeah, I mean that's me. You might also know another person that went to the school being Ted Nivison. if any of you watch him, he went to this school as well and did the same major.
I forgot you said that at one point. I was thinking about that. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh shit, yeah, you did say that at one point.
I did. Yeah. But a buddy of mine is like really good friends with him and used to do a cappella with him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they get drunk together and
So, Mr. Gabriel, if that is your real name.
Yes,
What?
it is.
Okay, I
That
just
is
want to make sure.
me. Yeah, my yeah. I was like, I might as well say my whole name because it's gonna be all over the film. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
what inspired you to do a live action adaptation of this video game?
Yeah, that's a great question. The idea came to me when I was doing my semester abroad in LA. I just like I as you could see, I'm a pyrocynical fan, and one stream he was playing Mike Klubnika's Other Games, which was the Unsorted Horror collection, and I just like watched him play all these games, and I was just incredibly fascinated with them and how they went about telling a story, and just like the consistent visual look of them was so interesting, and I decided to just think about the potential of just adapting that, and that just came about one night as I was just like thinking like, man, I really need to figure out what I'm going to be doing next semester or next year for my thesis. And I just like one night, just neurons going off in my brain at 3 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, let's just do. I wanted to do The Other Side, which is a game from the Unsorted Horror collection where you pretty much maintain this drill to drill through a door to escape this like facility or something. This like where people are not like trapped, but that's where they've lived, I guess. And as soon as he escapes, there's like some big monster that kills him. And I was just like, I think it'd be really cool to recreate the visual aesthetic of this game, uh, and just have it all take place in this one room. And I just started typing away on my notes app in my phone, and then I started writing a script, and I sat with the idea for a bit, and but I decided not to do that and do Buckshot instead, because I just like going into it, I knew it was going to be a really big challenge tackling an adaptation as far as just recreating the space. Like it's one room, but there's like a lot going on in this room, and I just decided that'd be easier to do Buckshot Roulette instead for that, and also it's just more well known. Like like talking about my film with people, like there's not a lot of people that really do know this game, and if I did the other side, literally no
Yeah.
one would know at all what the hell I was talking about. So yeah, that's kind of how I went about it. There's a few reasons I went that path, other than what I stated. One was my experience finding cast and crew is just been abysmal. It has not been good. When I was a sophomore, I did a 20-minute action film with a friend of mine. I was the director of photography. And, you think that no one really does action at all at this school. And you'd think that would appeal to people that were doing it. And we just got absolutely no one to help make this film. Uh, we really just needed just people to be goons, and we needed like one actress, and our actress got strep throat the
Ooh.
day before we were supposed to shoot. So yeah, that was just like a huge pain in the ass. And going into doing Buckshot, I was like, I can really just do this with one person, that being Chase,
Yeah.
who is the player. And with that, I was just like, yeah, I love that. Just one person, and one person to be behind the mask, which I found just like literally the week of shooting. um, other than that, I was just like, I can just shoot this in the studio that my school has, and I just shoot one location, really just like one actor, and boom, bada boom, like put all of the effort into making everything, and then just like not have to stress about finding actors in
Yeah.
multiple locations. And yeah, that I was pretty sold. I was pretty sold on just doing like the kind of one room simple thing. Like I thought it would be very very doable, to where the only really challenging thing I had to do was just recreate that space. And whew, that that was a lot of work. It
Yeah.
did not go as planned for a lot of things, for sure.
So to backtrack a bit, like you
Yep.
said, there's not a lot of people. There's a lot of people that don't know what Buckshot is. I've never played it. I know of it. Uh, would you like to at least sort of explain the game itself in your best words?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
give
I can
to give
explain the
some sort
game.
of idea.
So it is an indie horror game where it's pretty much like Russian roulette, but you play it with a buckshot shotgun. So instead of just having like one bullet in the chamber and then spinning it, it's pretty much a random order of shotgun shells where some are live and some are blank. And then, of course, you play against the dealer, which I have the mask behind me. And there's really not like a lot of it's very subtle on the lore of the game. I mean, it's pretty much now set where it's like weird, where it's like the god, like the dealer killed God. That's kind of like the
That's quite the
established lore that
jump.
people have set. Yeah, yeah. So, and it just has like this very nice like dark, and like this dark kind of rustic like metal machinery aesthetic to it. And you play this game in a club. So like in the film, like it's pretty like linear to how the game goes. So you start in the bathroom, then you move to the hallway that's kind of like above the club,
Mm.
and then you move into the room. So it's yeah, I mean, I guess that's way to explain it. I was like yeah, and you got your items where you drink beer and smoke cigarettes to do things like regain health and rack the shotgun. So yeah, it's very I don't know. I lost my train of thought
Oh, good. Oh, good.
on that one. Yeah, just like in it's been a definite challenge getting like showing this film and my film in class, and to get like actual like good critiques on it. There's a lot of like BS I have to wade through in terms of just people like not understanding what is going on,
Yeah.
which I feel like you can figure it out. But I mean, I'm showing these cuts in class where like there's no voiceover lines for the DOE yet. Like I don't have those in yet. I probably should have put like text what he's saying, but then you have moments where people just aren't understanding the character's motivations when they say I like they're like I see that he needs money, and I see that like he's worried what he like has his girl that like he's worried something will happen to if he doesn't get the money. And I'm like, did you not just answer your question?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a crazy process. Just like I added a scene during script critique, and then I ended up removing it during the ref cut critique. So I don't. Yeah, it's definitely I. If there's one thing like I wish I could change, it's just that I had more time and resources to just like add more like flashback scenes where you can really like get into knowing the character
Yeah.
more and more of like the world of Buckshot. Like there's a lot more I could have done with the bathroom and the hallway scene that I just like I didn't have time to do, as well as having a time limit on how long the film can be. I really just wanted to have some character building without it taking up too much time, because that's like one thing I was getting critiqued on, where I'm just struggling to figure out, like, because I was at one point was do I just have the game room be the entire film, like just have everything in there, no character building and whatnot, and just cut out all the other stuff. And to be honest, I did not want to do that, and I didn't do that because the one scene where the player is getting threatened about needing to pay up some money is definitely my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes, and it turned out really good. I had a friend of mine come in and be this guy that yells and threatens him, and the scene turned out absolutely awesome. And just weighing in a lot of what people are saying, at the end of the day, I'm trying to keep true to my vision and what I wanted.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's about how it's going.
So, some people that will be watching already know this, others don't. I traveled up to Ithaca this weekend on
Yep.
Saturday to do a little voice acting for you, and I will be taking the voice of the dealer, a little scary man sitting on the bed back there.
Oh yeah, I'm that went really well. I'm glad it did. My our sound mixer and sound editor Mark did a really good job with that and directing you, because I had a sort of idea in my head on what I wanted him to sound like, especially, and also like what I didn't want him to sound like. But I think Mark really came through with getting that follow through on
No, he
that. And
definitely did.
yeah,
I
he's really good with
I've
directing, voice
I have
directing.
I've
So
been directed before, and I don't think I've been directed like that before.
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he drew something out of me I didn't know I had. That was
yeah,
rough though.
you're freaking awesome, man. Like that was like crazy.
I did my
How
best. Yeah, I've because
yeah, you
all
were
I've been
just
basing.
digging deep
Yeah,
into your soul
that was
there.
like the deepest parts of my fucking guts. All I was really working with there was the screenshots you had sent during post production. I think it was like doing most of the editing and all
Yeah,
that,
I
some of
had
the screen grabs.
yeah.
That's all
I
I was
did not
basing it off of.
hesitate putting out the stills on
Oh, yeah,
that.
the stills were fucking great, which I'll probably throw in like right there in editing. But dude, that's all I have to work. That's all I really had to work with because I want to, like I told you before we started, I want to surprise myself. I want to see, I want the raw experience when I watch this
Yeah,
the first time.
I really kind of went into that weekend just like saying, fuck it, we ball.
Fuck
Like
it,
I
we
didn't
ball.
really like I don't know, I just had like just like a lot on my mind with what I wanted to do with the cut that week, and then just like dealing with like having you and Chase come over, and then I was thrown onto a set, and yeah, that whole weekend was crazy.
Yeah. It was a good weekend though. I had fun. I had a good time.
Dude, I'm glad. I'm glad we ran out of ping pong balls, so I could steal y'all over to the house to
and
play
then
some
and
pong.
then
Dude.
found the ping pong balls.
Oh yeah, and then found them anyways. Well, I don't know. They were like these. They were like these weird, like crappy neon colored ones.
Yeah, they were kind of
That
shit.
like yeah.
For those wondering, uh, me and Chase got dragged over to the frat house across the street, and we played beer pong on the front porch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna let them come to Ithaca and not come play beer pong at the house.
Fair, fair. So, what was your biggest difficulty, filming this, besides
Uh,
casting and such stuff like that?
No, yeah, I mean, the casting wasn't bad, like, cause like other than getting chased, like I just had my good friends, jump in and come in and do the other two smaller roles. They're very delighted to help out. So yeah, that was fine. And I think the biggest challenge just had to be it was probably that table.
The table, yeah.
You were probably very much expecting to hear that it was that
I
table.
was kind of expecting to hear the
yeah,
table, yeah.
because I'd say I pre-production definitely the table. I mean, yeah, I had I had a contract. I
My
had
stepdad.
you help me out. Your stepdad helped say he would do that. I probably should have been like more on his ass about it, you could say, but also I know
Oop,
that
there
not
he is.
long after I asked him, he had some stuff come up.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had some stuff come up. So yeah, I was just like, it's probably not gonna happen. And to be honest, he did say he could do the set walls, and I sent him the stuff on it, and he just like never got back to me.
yeah.
But to be honest, I was kind of hoping that he didn't get back to me, because then if I had the set walls, then I'd have to like get a U-Haul, and
Yeah.
then I'd be out like the rest of I'd be out like $100 on that. So it worked out for the best on that. But like I asked, I was talking to someone at Bucknell about it,
No shit.
and it was like the guy that makes stuff for the theater there, whatnot. And that didn't pan out. He didn't get back to me after I messaged him like twice talking about it. And after that, it was like me and my producer, we each just threw like a Hail Mary, just tried for one. We tried one person each, and that didn't. Again, no response on this table. So like I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to build this myself. So I came home one weekend and went to Lowe's with my dad, and we pretty much just scattered out all the parts that we wanted to use, and we pretty much blueprinted it there in the store, figuring out what we were gonna do, because we already had pretty like loose ideas on how it was gonna go. So we had that plan, and then we just didn't end up building it that weekend. We just planned it out, and then thank God for Connor, because a friend of mine. I had this we had this huge like group chat of like a bunch of my friends at home for just working on all the set production. And from the dead rises Connor, who's never said like a word in the chat, saying that he could help us out with it, and we ended up building it at his place. And we just used like all of the wood that he had lying around, and we built it up, and it did not collapse on set. So that's a huge win.
Huge W.
It held up. It was it was honestly great. It was a fun time. And then of course, when we finished it up, I had to go home. It still had to get painted. So thankfully, so I got Chase to do that. Got some people that helped paint it and finish it. The moving parts got done. They got done. I mean, it was pretty much as mechanical as a desk drawer, but it got finished up, and yeah, and sanded. It was not sanded when I left, so thankfully it got sanded and no one got cut. And I made sure to hammer in all the nails that were exposed on the
Hell
bottom.
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I honestly, with how things went, the table got done. It definitely took way too much of my time.
Yeah.
It was not. It took like 2 whole weekends away, where I just kind of was lacking on some other stuff to prepare for. I don't know if I really want to say it, but I got a bit in trouble with my professor over not doing some things for pre-production because I was too busy building a table and doing carpentry. But like, yeah, it got done, got it into the studio, and then the second biggest problem came up, which was that I just did not really have any time to actually do the set decoration and get everything set up before we started shooting. So when we came to doing the game room scenes on Saturday, it was not set up. I came in like an hour early, and the table legs still weren't attached, and I had to do all that. And we ran like 2 hours, over 2 hours behind, because I'm just trying to set all this up by myself, because I tried to get some people to come help me come in like an hour early, and that no one wanted to do it. So yeah, I mean the film got done. Even though we were behind, we caught up, and it was fine. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have a set designer. I didn't end up finding one. So yeah. I mean, it was fine. Like, I knew how I wanted it to look and everything, but unfortunately, I did not have as much time as I wanted to. Yeah, and yeah, another thing I'm super thankful for is our makeup artist, because our original makeup artist dropped like the week of. So I luckily the manager of the studio we shot at also does makeup, so she was able to come in when she could to do that, which was awesome because it looked amazing.
Yeah, you were just looking at some of the stills. Yeah, it looked great.
Oh yeah, turned out great. Yeah, that table, man. Ooh.
The fucking table, man. What was your favorite part of the filming process?
Oh, that's a good question. So like, writing it honestly was not fun. And the reason it wasn't fun is because I'm pretty much having to simulate a game of Buckshot Roulette in my head and plan it out. Like, if you look at the document where I planned out the game, it just looks like a bunch of nonsense. And I think I had to completely redo, because like once you get through, you plan out how exactly everything goes, and then I get to the end and it just would not work out, and I'd be like, no, this is a crappy way for it to end, and then I'd just go back and restart. So that got really annoying. It was hard. So, but it got done, and when I finished the plan ended up changing again, and that was also just like a lot of work. A lot of work planning out a whole movie perfect game in your head. And then, I mean, yeah, pre-production honestly just kind of also sucked, because I mean, yeah, just I think it was just the big stuff, like the table, trying to figure out the walls, trying to find someone to make the mask, which went amazing. The mask looks awesome.
Yeah,
I
it looks
love the
fucking
mask.
great.
Like I thought it looked good when I first saw it, and then we put it behind the camera, and I just like I could not believe how awesome it looked. I'm very proud of how it turned out. Um, but like yeah, there was just a lot of uncertainties in pre-production, and yeah, it just took a lot longer than I wanted to for things to come together. I definitely felt like I should have been a bit more proactive on some things, but because like I feel like half the stuff wasn't even like together until like the last like 2 weeks. And I was finally like getting everything done,
Yeah,
and yeah, and I mean yeah, I I think I honestly really just love like even like what I just said about those 2 weeks before the film. I was having a blast. I was having so much fun, just like coming home, working on this table, getting all of the props and the costumes together, seeing it all before me. Seeing the shotgun, which also just looked awesome. We got this nice. I got this nice airsoft shotgun. I bought one. The first one I bought honestly sucked, and I'm like I rushed into buying it. This sucks, and I bought another. I bought another one for. I pretty much all the money that I would have spent on the walls or the table. Pretty much, I put in a good chunk of that. What I was going to put into the shotgun, and yeah, I absolutely loved it. I was so sleep deprived and traveling way too much, but it was such a blast just ignoring all my classwork and just focusing on my film. Yeah, and production was awesome. It was just such a blur, though. Like it just went by so quickly because I was just like just bouncing from place to place all the time. Uh, but it was awesome. I had such like an amazing cast of people. Chase is awesome. I was so happy to have him and some of my friends that came on. Uh, Not exactly last minute, but definitely some the deal that came last minute. Yeah, everyone was so awesome. My crew absolutely amazing. Shout out to my DP Jonah. He's awesome. Uh, he brought in some amazing people to help, and I definitely myself met some great people this semester before I shot this that I was able to come have on set, and everyone is so talented and amazing that we were just able to shoot this film, and everything went as the hiccups on some of the pre-production that kind of bit me in the ass. My awesome crew helped pick up the slack that I had on some of that, and we got it done. We honestly got done a little bit early on our last day of shooting. So
nice.
like yeah, we absolutely knocked it out of the park. I'm just like I've never had such a big and good crew ever at IC, and I'm just so happy on how everything turned out. It's fun.
How would you good for those of us watching that are not aware, uh Gabe also made a film called Mimicry, which I also started.
oh,
How would you
oh my
compare this
god.
process and this experience to
It's
Mimicry?
no, it's you can't even compare it because I did mimicry as an independent thing like over my Thanksgiving break. Like that was just like something I did completely for fun because I just had a cool idea and I wanted to use my camera more, and I just decided to just I wasn't even supposed to shoot that film with you and at home. I was planning to do that uh, at my college
Yeah.
with my friends. We even did a script reading for it, and yeah, it just ended up not panning out. Some people I had to delay it. Some people weren't available, and I just like what, I'm just gonna do it on my Thanksgiving break. It was a fun script reading though because one of my friends decided to start reading it in a Russian accent, so then everyone decided to just start reading it in a Russian accent, and that's just like the one thing I remember from that. Uh, Yeah, I mean, yeah, mimicry was just a way to use my camera more, and of course, I decided to try to put it into film festivals, and I got into two festivals. One was a new one that started in Ithaca, and the other was just some Serbian film festival that I was like a semi-finalist in somehow. Uh, yeah, night and day on that because it was literally like me and like one other person doing crewing this thing. But I mean, it was such a huge learning opportunity for me as far as dealing with script writing and storyboarding and working with new like work. I worked. It was the first time I worked with a sound designer and a composer. It was the first time I worked on that. My composer did such a good job. It was so cool. I just let him do his thing, and he just absolutely kicked ass. And that's probably my favorite part of the film. It's just how I got a composer for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole like weird shadow demon thing that I just lucked out on that because my buddy did what's the name of the little dudes, sand dudes from Star Wars?
Jawa.
I can't remember. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, the dudes with like the glowing eyes and shit. Like, yeah, one of my friends did that for Halloween, and I just like stole like his mask.
I knew I fucking recognized that from somewhere.
In my film. That's what I did. Because the whole reason I took it was because he just left his costume in my dorm for like 2 months, and I just shot him a text. I'm like, can I just like take the mask? And I just took it. So like, yeah, it I don't know. I don't. It's not great. I don't know. I look back on it and I mean like, yeah, there's some things I really liked, but I mean, yeah, no, it's yeah, been a long way since mimicry.
It's been a long time. Yeah, it's been a while. I had fun. I had a blast doing mimicry. It was
No,
fun.
it was fun.
Oh,
that was great. It was like yeah, you did such a good job doing the narration for the trailer. I love the trailer. The trailer has more views than the actual film itself. Like that's how good the trailer was. Yeah, yeah. Like after I did mimicry, the film after that was Incursion, the 20-minute action film that I shot. That was a lot of fun. As much as I talked about it before with how wrong things went, but it was fine. It was just like his dad was just all of the goons that he shot, all of them.
Oh,
I was a few though. I was a few. If you watch that film and you see the shirtless one outside, that was me.
I'll have to watch that at some point. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's a great film. My buddy Braden, who's the director and writer of that, all he does is action. It's his bread and butter. He's been perfecting it for years, and yeah, he does such a good job at that. So that's why it's like probably one of my favorite films I've done for sure. And then after that, it was just like nothing. It was just like not much because I think this is like the first. Yeah, because like after that, I just did like some smaller stuff that were just pretty much like assignments for class, and then I did that music video because my professor just that was his thing. His thing was music videos. He did music videos for Rihanna.
No shit.
So like, yeah, he did the one where she did it with Drake, and so we'd make jokes in class saying like that. We'd be like, did you make eye contact with Drake? Have you done that? which he said no, because he was on the lighting team. So what they'd do is that they'd set up the lighting for the scene they'd be shooting, and then when they started filming it, they'd be going to the next location to set up the lighting.
Right.
So yeah. So yeah, his thing was music videos. So I ended up just shooting a music video with Zoe. And it was good. It was good. I didn't really feel like putting together like a fiction narrative.
Yeah.
Much. So I just decided to do that. And yeah, after that I was on I produced a set last semester, and I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Nothing.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna see this, so I don't really want to say anything about that.
Fair
enough. And then yeah, I was in LA, and yeah, that was just like It's like a lot of people. It's interesting. People get different perceptions of how thesis goes here, and it depends on what you do. And the really the some people find out the truth and some people don't. And the truth is, if you don't start planning your thesis a year in advance, you're already behind.
Right.
Like you some of my friends, like the set I was on, like that was the latter, but like he it went great. Like people can make great sets with that, but for the sets that I bet on, and what I've heard from people is that a lot of people pretty much plan out a year in advance, and I think I started too late because I didn't get the script. I didn't get the script done until maybe like probably like a little bit before the first half of last semester ended,
Right.
because I had a, a DP owed me a favor, and I thought I could get him, and I was just still like too late on that. But I ended up I ended up finding Jonah, and he was absolutely awesome. I think everything, for the way everything went down, it was great. And also I wanted to shoot earlier because a lot of people pretty much shoot like in April. Yeah, a lot of people ended up shooting in April or like the end of March, and I wanted to shoot. I ended up shooting at the end of February, and I honestly wanted to shoot earlier than that. Uh, but I had to fit in people's schedules, so it didn't happen. But yeah, like me, like I was starting. I had the idea in LA, and I started writing it in LA. And the same, my roommate was doing the same thing with his film, which is Green Arrow. So
Oh.
like, yeah, I that's I might have to share that on my thing, because I think some people would be very interested. I think I was on that. That was a long set. Like I don't know where to begin with that. That was it. That was like 8 days of shooting. But oh
Damn.
my god, it's awesome. It's yeah. Director is so talented. He's awesome, and uh, yeah, I remember him like meeting on with our professor on writing writing that. So like yeah, like people get started early, because the thing about the school is that like there's honestly not like a lot of like really good DPs here. Like there's a lot of good DPs, and I think some. But what really makes a good DP is one that like just like really knows lighting,
Yeah.
and just like really, excuse me, like just like really knows their craft, and they book themselves up fast. Like that's why people start so early, planning so early, is because to get a crew locked in, you have to be quick. Because like I said, the first DP I wanted, he was already booked, and even Jonah was already doing 3 films, and I asked him, and he ended up helping like one or two more people after me.
Oh
So like
shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
like people get busy. People get busy here. So it's yeah, that's why I felt like I started too late, because like yeah, people book up really fast, and it can get hard to get people together
Yeah.
for films here. Yeah.
Uh, what do you think in the future, if you were able to make, if you were to start over from scratch,
Ooh.
if you were just
Okay.
completely start from scratch, there's no, you still got a deadline and such, but if you were to just start from scratch and remake Buckshot, what would you do differently?
Yeah, I know I talked about this a bit earlier, and I think the one thing I'd want to do is I'd really want to get I would want to like find a location, like a club location to shoot. There one thing about doing this film, when I'd like go post on Reddit about it, like I learned of like 3 other people that were doing Buckshot short films, and
Yeah.
one of them is released already. It's like 4 minutes, and my favorite thing about his film was the beginning, when he like wakes up delirious in the club and walks through the club, and I was just so fascinated with how it looked. The cinematography was awesome. The lighting was amazing, and I was like, yeah, I would love to just put more effort into doing the club scene. Like I had an idea of like doing, because there's just like one spot that I think would be good, but it's at a bar, and you can't shoot at these bars at night. It has to be
Yeah.
during the day. So like it's like no, it's not gonna work. And yeah, I would love to put more effort into the club scene. I would love to have. I would definitely try to find a contractor. I'd love to find a contractor. That'd be great. No, nobody wants to build a table. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, then, yeah, I think if I just had some more time to work on the set deck, I would, but I didn't. Yeah, I think I there was a lot of ideas I had with the opening scene, like in walking through the club or like being in like that when you're in the game, like when you're at the balcony, like over the club before you go into the room. I almost tried to like write in a part for like the doctor, because that's like who's like he's like in that hallway leaning over, and like he's the person that's like reviving you and stuff. And I was thinking about doing something like that, but it would not fit in the capacity that I need it to, because
Yeah.
my film has to be under 15 minutes, and with the kind of thing it is, and yeah, with the kind of thing it is, my professors were like, "Oh, this would be so good. This would be like a perfect 7-minute film." How?
Yeah.
How? Like,
How?
if you wanted me to make it 7 minutes, cut everything else outside the game room, and then I'd probably have to cut an entire like round, which would just like that's just not happen. That
Yeah.
literally can't happen. So like if I could do it again, I'd probably make the game shorter, and I'd like to do more character building and more building of the space around the game room
Right.
outside of it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So what you said it has to be under. It had to be underneath, under 15 minutes. What's it sitting at now?
Right now the cut's at 11 and a half minutes.
11 and a half
So
minutes.
I did some bigger changes for it for sure, and uh yeah, I mean, I'd like to get a little more feedback on it, because I do need to have the cut done so I can get it to my sound mixer and my composer, and yeah, and also I'm going to 2 weddings.
Yeah.
Excuse me, this month. So, excuse me, 1 second. Yeah, so like, yeah, the cut needs to. It's probably about done. Like, there's not much more I want to cut out or change at this
Yeah.
point. So. Yeah, unlike that Green Arrow movie, that's gonna be like 25 to 30 minutes, and I know he's
Oh
just putting
shit.
out the
Yeah.
trailer for the cut. So,
So when are you expecting a full release date? If you have one in mind.
I'm not super certain about that. Just because I plan to put it through festivals, and yes, I have reached out to my Klubnica, but he has not messaged me back.
Right.
I don't know why. I don't know. Well, so, anyways, yeah, I want to put it through festivals. So like, I know it's like it can just be weird as far as like when I'm allowed to post it on YouTube, because that's where it'll be on my production channel, NeeonDemon Productions. But currently, I just like usually I put it out like literally as soon as the screening
Yeah.
is for my class. But this time, I probably need to sit on it and put it through festivals first, as well as it's probably going to need more time for things like the sound and the color and whatnot. It'll probably need some more time in the oven before I actually want to put it out.
Right.
So time frame would be probably. I mean, if I'm like straight up not allowed to post until I'm done putting it through the festival circuit, then it probably won't be out till next year.
Okay.
Which sounds horrible, but
Yeah.
also I probably don't need to wait a whole year, so maybe I might have it out in the fall.
Okay.
Probably it. I'd say the fall. Yeah. I will have a trailer out though. I have the teaser out right now. I will have a trailer coming out when I do present it for the screening for my class. So
Okay.
you look forward to that.
Because I'm looking at your channel right now, and the teaser trailer sitting at 153 views at the moment. So it's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
good. That had more. I don't know. I posted on Reddit. I was posting things on Reddit, and people looked really excited. And then I posted the trailer. I posted the teaser, and then no one said anything. So I was just like,
Mm,
yeah, maybe I picked the wrong time to post it. But
maybe. Yeah, once you get a trailer out, I will not be watching it until I'm ready to watch the film itself. Because I want
oh yeah,
the
you
full
want the real
raw experience.
experience.
I want it. I
Yeah.
need it. Because I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I know it might sound like a long wait, but it will 100% be worth it. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth the wait.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll have some film festival credits slapped on the thumbnail. Hopefully,
Hell yeah.
one can hope.
That'll be good. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, I love the festival circuit. It's fun. Yeah, that's the main reason I'm glad I did mimicry, is because I do know about that and have some experience with doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, we are sitting at about 46 minutes. Anything else you would like to talk about?
Talking about some other stuff. See, I had an idea, but I kind of lost it. I mean, I could talk about the future if you want.
Sure, go
Yeah,
for
I
it.
could talk
Yeah.
about future stuff. I haven't really talked to it about anyone yet. So like get your thoughts on this stuff. So
Okay.
as far as like I'll be graduating soon in May. So I'm not quite sure exactly like where I'm gonna go. My plan is mostly just to get the fuck out of the East Coast.
Fair
Honestly,
enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
I I think a little bit. I kind of, yeah, that's kind of the plan. But I honestly I
Oh,
really enjoyed doing Buckshot, and I'd like to do more similar things, as well as expanding on mimicry as well, because you can go watch mimicry. It's like okay, but I definitely want to do. I've written two full scripts of sequels to it. So
my boy
I
Sozuma.
yeah, I've talked to some people about it in terms of the first film I ever made at Ithaca College called Base of Mafia. I kind of connected that to mimicry, and
Okay, yeah.
the whole plan was to make my college friends fight my high school friends. But that never really worked out. I wrote a prequel script to Base of Mafia, which was about 20 some pages, and I did not film it just because like I don't it's not going to fit. A 20-page script is not going to fit in any capacity for for my classes,
Yeah.
as well as just like not going to get done in a time frame like mimicry where we shot it over a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'd like to shoot that script. I think it'd be cool. But I also wrote just like a straight up direct sequel to mimicry, um, which would which is also a longer script, but I think would be fun to shoot, because this was around this is around the time of like some really peak Jujutsu Kaisen chapters, and I wrote part of it I wrote where I was kind of riffing off of the Takaba's like domain expansion, where he's like the comedy guy in there,
Yeah.
and I kind of ripped. I was taking inspiration from like his stuff, as well as this other manga called Shoha Shoten, which is just like a straight up like comedy manga. So I was just like creating some like interesting stuff there that I just like I every time I read it I get a grin on my face, and I think it'd just be so much fun to shoot it. And I yeah, that's that stuff. It's my more like out there kind of stuff. That'd
Yeah.
be fun to shoot. But as far as like things that I actually think would be more doable, or at this point be more interested in. I don't know if I should say it. I don't know if I should say it. Well, I'll start with this one thing. I like documentary. I haven't done a lot of documentary. I've done some. You can. It's not on my channel, but maybe I should. The whole reason I haven't linked this on my channel is because I just think it's crap. I think the edit is crap. Sorry. What's your name? Yeah, you know who you are if you're watching this, which you're definitely not going to watch this. You know who you are, and you edited it like crap. You did. I was a cinematographer on a documentary for the Smithsonian. It was just like this little. It's just about like young innovators in small towns. So like, yeah, it was just. I got to fly in a plane, a small aircraft, and fly over my house. That was cool.
That's cool.
But you know, I like that documentary. It was a lot of fun. I did another similar thing for the guy that got me that gig. And you know, I like watching and learning about documentary in class, and I think I'd like to do a documentary on like VR chat.
Oh shit! I'm your guy.
Yeah, which I was gonna say, like if I did that, you would be my guy to get me on. I will be your guy. Because I honestly, I'm just so fascinated with it in certain capacities where I just love to do a documentary on it. And I think the kind of specific angle that I'd be looking to do it is I'd love to meet people in the game and actually like meet them in real life and do interviews with them in real life.
Right. Well, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's the angle that I really like to take on it. Like not like to take it outside of the game, you know. Yeah. So I'd also love to. Yeah, I'd love to just like look into some certain things on there. You know, some of the maybe more darker things that go on the site, but also just like just like presenting it in a way to people that just like don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that I think I find fun myself is to actually like sleep, like the people that sleep in VR chat.
I've done that.
You've done that? Yeah, I kind of want to do that, and I kind of want to like make it the documentary like a little bit personal on like me going into it for like the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like had this thought. I had that thought, and I think it'd be like a fun documentary to do. Which actually, if you don't know, HBO actually did a documentary about VR chat.
No shit, did they?
It was like it's about like couples that like met in VR chat and stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah, it was about that. And then I think the other thing I was gonna plan to do, I think I'm gonna keep it a secret.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it a secret. But there's another game that I'd like to do. It would be a lot of work. Like this would be like a pretty monumental film to do. I'll just say I'm a fan of Pyrocynical, so take your pick on what game I might be talking about. And yeah, I'm gonna keep that a secret. But it was just something like I had
half a decade. So.
it's something like I was thinking about last week. Now that I'm like getting closer to finishing Buckshot, where I honestly do kind of like this. I like tackling these adapting these smaller like games and whatnot.
And actually doing a good job, unlike Hollywood.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I honestly like if I was to start my thesis over again and not do Buckshot, I don't know what I would do. Honestly, I really don't know. Like I might have done something. I could have done something like mimicry along those lines. But I don't know how well that could put together. Honestly, I think Buckshot was like the perfect thing for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, if you need another Sozum, I got you, buddy. I'm available.
I didn't even talk about that. I had this idea for a script that I was actually gonna write and do last semester, but I just I was too enveloped in Buckshot, so I just decided not to do it. Where I had like this I wanted to do this play with this one certain visual effect, and I kind of just turned into a script that would take place in that mimicry universe. and I was gonna have probably you be like the kind of main protagonist on that one.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So maybe we'll shoot that. But oh my god, now
That'd
we're
be
talking about
fun.
this, I'm like thinking of all sorts of things. I then there's also the film that I think I talked to you about this about the one where I was gonna call it like Get the Game or something, about those like two dudes that like are sick of their friends not playing games with them, and like they want to get like this new game, but they never like respond, so they were gonna like go to their house in the middle of the night and force them to get it. And I was gonna base it off of like our friend group, and I was gonna make them like bust into your room while you were like streaming or
I
something.
think I do remember you
Remember
talking
I
about
talked
this
to you
because I
about
was
that?
talking about the
Yeah.
bit of just actually being alive when this happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like actually being glad when we did that. Yeah, I uh, I'd like to write that script. I'd like to do it. I think that because like it's just like it's not like this weird science fiction crap that I keep doing.
Yeah.
I think we could. I think we could. It could be a chill shoot, and we could get it done like 2 days. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if I stick around in town. I'll try to shoot that film over the summer maybe,
Hell yeah.
because I think it'd be fun to tackle writing a comedy. I'd like to do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
And when
I
you
don't
get
know
on
how I
it.
forgot about that one, because that's actually the film I'm probably gonna make like the soonest if it lines up correctly. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if when you want to do that, let me know. When you want to do your VR chat documentary, I'll dust off the index and
Dude,
I
I
can help you out
know.
with that.
I know. Yeah.
I'll delve back into the cesspool for
That's
you.
yeah, because like if we tackled that, like I'd have to do like a lot of research, like a lot of reaching out to people and
Yeah.
whatnot, and then a lot of courage building as I just like try to go into these spaces and talk to people.
It's chill
Oh, it's
sometimes, and then other times you will just have someone call you the F slur and the N slur. So
yeah.
it's very it's a very gray area for the most part because you don't really know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I try to like get some advice from my professor like along that kind of stuff. Cause like my professor, they showed us a documentary they did like around like COVID, or it was kind of I don't know. I'm probably gonna like mess up the nutshell, but pretty much my professor, they were just like walking up to people who were like just like they went to like this one gun rally or something where everyone's just like completely strapped with like ARs and shit. And I'm just like, how do you just go up and talk to
Yeah,
these people? And then there's like, I can't remember why they were there, but just like these like huge like Trump supporters, and they were like had all their flags and shit, and like at the side of the road. I don't remember. There was something passing by, and there's something they spotted. It was like they weren't. It wasn't like them being crazy or stupid or anything, but it was still just like this group of like very strong beliefs people, and my professor just walking up to them asking who they voted for, like not off the bat, like they were talking to him, and then my professor just like they asked like who they voted for in the election, and then they just said they were like, oh, I voted for Obama, and like it
oh
was
yeah,
funny because clearly my professor was asking in the latest election, and they're in wearing like they're dripped out in Trump gear, so it's like of course they're gonna say Trump. But they when like watching them respond like that, it's just such like an obvious answer that they just like thought that my professor meant the previous election. And I was just like
yeah,
just hearing them say like I don't know, just like yeah, they weren't anything crazy, but it's still like these people that were it's just like asking them like these questions, and like I'm like, how do you just like go up to these people and do that? And they were just like I've just been doing this for so long, you just do it.
yeah.
So like
Fair.
you're also like holding a camera, so it's just like saying like yeah, I just like got pretty good of like keeping the camera in focus while I'm holding it, like at like waist level. I'm just like okay, yeah.
There you go.
All right. I guess I just need to go make documentaries for 20 years, and then I'm all set. Yeah.
Any final notes or anything like that? Because we're about to hit an hour here.
Oh, nice. I mean, whew, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of out of things to say, or at least nice things to say. I don't know. I could talk about some stuff, but I could
We'll
talk
keep that.
about some other films I've been. I could talk about my school, but it probably wouldn't be the nicest thing.
Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll keep that in the. Those are our inside feelings, Gabe. But yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, dude, of course. Yeah, this is yeah, good timing, you know, great
Hell yeah.
great time to talk about my film here and you know, help each other out.
Yeah.
For sure.
YouTube viewers, I will have Gabe's channel linked in the description, and in live viewers, it's in the pinned chat message there. Definitely go check him out. Subscribe to him. Watch the Mimicry trailer and see me do a Gmod dance.
Oh yeah, that does happen. Yeah, the Gmod dance,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, that was dude, yeah,
That
that
was
was
good.
so good.
That was really good.
I actually like love that trailer. Uh don't if you yeah, you can also look at the outtakes too, which are pretty funny.
Outtakes are funny as fuck.
Don't watch the Base of Mafia outtakes though, because that's just pure brain rot.
Fair.
It's actually bad.
But yeah, we'll leave it off there. Thank you for coming on, Gabe. Maybe I'll have you back on again once Buckshot releases.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll get
Or if I get up to some other stuff.
that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I'll definitely have you on again. Alrighty. Thank you for watching, everyone. Gabe again. Thank you for coming on. Go subscribe to NeeonDemon Productions on YouTube. Link in the description. And have yourself a wonderful evening.